Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the video. Today, I'm going to be telling you the recipe of beef quesadillas, and this recipe is awesome, so follow along to know the recipe. Over here, I have all my ingredients laid out, and I'm going to be telling this recipe in two parts. The first will be telling you guys the recipe for the tortilla bread, and the second will be telling you guys the recipe for the beef filling. First, I'm going to be telling the tortilla bread, like I said, and for this amazing recipe, we are going to be needing 2 cups of all-purpose flour, which I've already sifted, 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm using olive oil, but you can use whichever one is available to you. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, not soda, because soda is much stronger than baking powder. Half teaspoon of salt, and 1 cup of lukewarm milk, and that means lukewarm means that you can just dip your finger in and you won't get burnt. So let's get started with this amazing tortilla bread recipe. So first, I'm just gonna mix everything in my bowl here, starting with the all-purpose flour. Again, it's already sifted. Now that's in, I'm going to be adding in the rest of the 4 ingredients left. So starting with the oil, baking powder, not soda, don't use baking soda, salt, and our 1 cup of lukewarm milk. I'm gonna add in half right now, and I'm gonna be adding in half later. So I'm just gonna close the mixer, and I have my dough hook on, so now we're just gonna mix. Okay, so now that it's mixed, I am going to just open it, and I'm going to add in the rest of the milk that we saved, and I'm going to turn the mixer back on and just let it mix until it comes into a dough-like consistency. Alright, so now that the dough is done, I'm just going to turn the mixer off and take the dough out of the bowl onto my clean workspace. Make sure to just wipe it down so that it's nice and clean. I'm just going to take the dough out onto my workspace. Okay, so I have sifted some all-purpose flour onto my counter so that the dough doesn't stick. And now that the dough is nearly out, I'm just gonna take the last one. I am going to knead it. And make sure that whenever you are kneading a dough, it's like nearly a rule that you have to add in a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour while kneading it. So I have it in my set, and I'm going to slowly just incorporate the whole thing into the dough. And this will just start to give it a firm shape, because as you can see right now, it's very sticky and it's hard to knead, and it's starting to stick to your hands and your workspace. But I assure you, after you've added the 1/4 cup of flour, it will be an amazing dough. As you can see, my dough is done. I'm going to take some oil and just slightly sprinkle it into the bowl, and I'm going to put the dough into the bowl, and I'm going to cover it with a cotton cloth for around 15 minutes, and while then, we're going to be making our filling. Welcome to part 2 of this video. I'm going to be telling you guys the recipe for the minced beef. Okay, so over here I have half kg of minced beef, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of red chili flakes, 1 teaspoon of garlic paste, 1 teaspoon of paprika, a 1/4 teaspoon of black seed or kalonji, a 1/4 teaspoon of ajwain or bishop's weed, carom or ajwain caraway, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. And on the side over here, I have one medium onion chopped, one medium tomato chopped, and just a handful of olives to sprinkle on, and some cheese. I'm using Adam's mozzarella cheese. They give a wide range of dairy products, so go check them out. Welcome to my stove. We are going to be preparing the filling now. I have all my ingredients here, and what I'm going to do first, I'm going to take the olive oil and put it into the fry pan. My fry pan is already preheating, so it shouldn't take long. And I'm going to add in the onions into it, and we're just going to soften them. Okay, so now that the onions are done, I'm going to be adding in the garlic paste and the beef. And I'm just gonna go ahead with my rubber spoon and mix it all together until the beef changes its color. As you can see, now that the beef has changed color, I'm going to be adding all the spices into it. So I'm gonna go in with my salt, red chili flakes, paprika, black seeds or kalonji, ajwain or ajowan caraway, black pepper, and I'm just going to mix it all up and make sure all the spices are well incorporated. And if you guys don't know, ajwain is also called ajowan caraway, bishop's weed, and carom. So whichever name you are comfortable with, you can use any of them. Okay, so the spices have mixed, and now I'm going to be adding in the tomatoes. And you want to make sure you do this last, because you don't want the tomatoes to become too mushy as well. I'm just gonna go ahead with my spatula and mix it all up. I am back on my workstation. I have flour, dough, and my rolling pin. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the dough out, just plop it out, boop, and I'm just going to roll my sleeves up. And I'm going to roll it out to this long. Okay, and I'm just going to use my hands, roll it again, use my hands. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be cutting equal sections using my knife. So I'm going to make approximately 8 out of these. So half and half, cut them, and you get quarters. You take the quarters and you cut them to make eighths. So you got one piece there, second there, third and fourth there. Dough number 5 and 6, 7 and 8 coming up. So I'm just going to spread these out. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna keep them that side because I'm gonna be rolling the doughs out on that side, so I need it to be clear. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of the dough balls that we just made, and I'm just going to make it circular. I'm going to just spread the flour. And the excess flour, I'm just going to dust off to a side. I'm going to take this and I'm going to roll it out. Okay, so this is my second one, I think. And I'm just rolling it. And you want to make sure these are thin, but not too thin that they rip on the stove. So I have one of my done, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do this with the rest of my dough. So same process, roll it into a dough. Okay, so I'm back at the stove. I have my tawa here, and the stove isn't on right now, and I got my filling by the side, and I'm gonna go get one of the doughs that we roll. But before we do that, I have some purified butter or ghee and my brush here. I'm just going to brush the ghee onto the tawa. I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to go get some of my dough. I'm going to just loop it on top. Well, perfect. And as you know, the stove is off, so that's why I went with my hand. But if the stove is on, please do not do that. It's very unsafe. So I'm just turning the stove on right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my filling, the beef filling we just made, and I'm just going to put it in the center of the quesadilla, and I'm leaving the edges out because we're going to be pressing them down. And I'm going to take some olives and sprinkle them. Evenly. And now that's done, cheese. Who does not like cheese? I'm just going to take the cheese and just evenly spread it everywhere. And I'm going to get another sheet of rolled dough and put it on top of this. And what I'm going to do is I am going to just see if it's ready to be flipped. Okay, so I changed my utensil, and as you can see, I have flipped this, and so the other side of the dough can cook as well. And I'm going to take this out in my glass dish that I have here and head over to my counter. Okay, so I'm on my counter, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a pizza cutter and cut the quesadilla into quarters. And make sure whenever you're cutting anything like pizza or quesadillas, start from the center and move to the edges, because then if you start at the edges, everything just oozes out, and you really don't want that. So now that that side cut, I'm going to turn my plate and cut this side. So half done, and the other half is also done. There you have it. Your amazing quesadilla is ready, and it looks amazing. Whoa, look at that cheese pose. It's awesome. Okay guys, your beef quesadilla is ready and it looks amazing. I literally, when I was cutting it, I could see the cheese, and it was so hot that I couldn't even hold it properly. Yeah. And if you guys like this recipe, tell me in the comments down below and give this video a big thumbs up. I'm just gonna go ahead and eat this. Bye!
This woman right here is just amazing. She can do anything that is just amazing. Yeah, this woman right here is just amazing. She can do anything that is just amazing. Yeah.
And you guys should go visit my channel to know the recipe of these beef quesadillas. And if you like that recipe, tell me in the comments down below. And go visit me on
Visit her on
Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Bye!
This woman right here is just amazing. She can do anything that is just amazing. Yeah.
And if you want to know the recipe of this amazing beef quesadilla, go check out my YouTube channel, Tea Cooking Studio, and tell me in the comments down below if you guys like this recipe, and go follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Bye!